Hey guys, what's up? It's me, xGalaxi Girlx, and I bet you guys can't guess what book to movie adaptation we're going to be talking about today. I really don't think you can. Well, we're going to be talking about Divergent by Veronica Roth, the movie, and it was so amazing, guys. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It was great, guys. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. It stayed true to the book, and it was beautiful. And I cried, and I laughed, and it was just brilliant. Beautifully written, beautifully directed. It was great. So, yes, watch it. If you don't know what Divergent is about, you haven't seen the movie, you haven't read the book, mainly it's about this dystopian world, futuristic, where there are 5 factions. After this war that had happened, they created these 5 factions to keep peace. And then there's also Divergent, and Divergent means you are more than one of the factions, and if you are Divergent, people want you dead, because you're not allowed, you shouldn't be more than one, and you're dangerous, and you're different, and they don't like that. So, people want to kill you. So, yeah, and it follows a story of Triss and her story, and it's pretty awesome. So Triss is one of the most amazing female characters I've ever read. She's one of the strongest and most brave and awesome, and it was great. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get started because we have lots to talk about today. So that was the non-spoilery section. So yeah, so now this is the spoilery section. So if you haven't seen the movie or read the book, come back once you've read the book or seen the movie. Bye! Okay, so I just love the beginning of the movie. You know how we have that little intro, and of course she has to explain it a bit, so, you know, because people who haven't read the book need to know what this is all about. So, that was nice, and then when we come down on the city, and we see the whole city, and then we come down and you see all the people there, and they're just like walking around in their different colored outfits, and that's just awesome because you already know now that they've already been split up, there's different factions, and it's just great, and it's beautiful, and it's awesome. So, and we see little Triss running around, and with the Dauntless, trying to be Dauntless. So, anyways, let's get to the aptitude test, and we get to meet Tori, and she did a good job being Tori, so, woo, and, yeah, so we get to the aptitude test, and she takes it, and I just love that whole scene, and the dog, and it's awesome how the dog changes, and then it changes back, and it's running after her, and she jumps on it, and she wakes up, and it's like, it was so good. It was just awesome. I love that scene so much. It was such a good scene. Like, I literally, like, when I knew it was coming, I was just like, I sat up in my chair, and I was like, okay, here we go. I was just really excited. It was just such a good scene. I know it was longer in the book, but of course they had to cut it down, but that's okay. It's okay. So, it was great. And I love that scene where Caleb, he tells her to think for herself, and I think that was just a big, like, thing. Like, I don't think many people realize that, but I did because, you know, she even said that he's one of the most selfless people she knows, and for him to tell her to think of her family, but also to think for herself, you know, that was just a big thing, and I just really liked that scene. So yeah, that was nice. So yeah, now we get to choosing day with Janine, and we get to meet Janine. I don't think this ever happened in the book, but I like that scene where we get to meet Janine because I think that's important that we get to meet her. So choosing day was awesome, and you know how she's like, Caleb goes first and he picks erudite, and that just shocks everyone because abnegation are against erudite, so that was just like, oh crap. Like, dang it. And then we get to, and I just love how they had their hand, and like she's Triss is holding her hand over abnegation, and at the last second she moves it to Dauntless, and like, that was great, and all the Dauntless are like, woo, and it's just like her parents are sitting there, and I just want to hug them because I feel bad for them, but, you know. Then they're running to the train. When they're running to that train, that is just a beautiful scene, and it's like the first time, you know, like, she climbs up there and gets onto the train. It's just, it was great and beautiful, and it just, she was free at last. I feel like she like finally realized like, oh, I'm free. I can, you know, be who I am, and it was just great. And then her and Christina jump off of the train and onto the roof, and then that was great. Oh, I loved the casting for this movie. I really did. Then we get to the jump, and she jumps into, and you know, like everyone's all like, okay, who's gonna jump first? You know, that's what Eric's saying, like, who's gonna jump? Who's gonna jump? And then Trish is all like, I will. And Peter's all like, stiff. And it's like, stupid Peter. So she jumps, and that scene is just so awesome. And in the trailer, it looked amazing, but it was even more amazing in the movie theater, because when she's jumping, and it's a longer jump, and then she lands, and it's just like, oh my gosh, she landed, she's there. And it just like, when her breath was taken away, so was mine. I was just like, like I was holding my breath, and I was just like, it was great. Beautiful scene. And then we get to meet Four. And I just love that first little thing he says to her. I can't remember what it was, but it was so funny, and I laughed, and it was just like, are you sure you're the one that jumped first? It was, I don't remember, it was funny. I can't remember what it was, but it was funny. And, you know, then we meet Christina, Al, Peter, and Will. You know, Peter's a jerk, like I said. Al and Will, though, they look so similar that I couldn't really tell who was who. Like, I think for one moment that was Al, and then another moment I think that was Will, and I was very confused. They looked too similar. Either one of them should have had their hair dyed a different color or something, because they looked too much alike, and I was very confused. That's the only thing I really didn't like about the whole thing. That just really irked me. So, anyways, the fight scenes. First fight scene is Triss and Molly are fighting, and Molly, I wanted to punch her, because I was like, don't you dare hurt Triss! Ah! Like, I was just very angry, but it was awesome. I liked Eric in this. Like, that's not at all how I imagined Eric, but it really worked, and I really liked his character, and he was really a jerk, but I liked his whole character, and he did a good job playing him. And, where Eric, you know, helps Christina up, you're like, oh, Eric's nice, and then he pushes her off and makes her hold on to the chasm, like she's hanging over the chasm, and it's like, oh my goodness, ah! Like, it was really, like, crazy, and, yeah, it was pretty, like, crazy, and, like, she's holding on there, and I'm, like, freaking out, I'm like, oh my goodness, Christina! Yeah, one thing I really liked is how she's in the hospital, and she, you know, she feels defeated, and like Eric kicked her out of Dauntless, but then she runs to the train, and that scene is just awesome. I'm like, run, Triss, run! And it's just great. And then she gets on the train, and Eric's all like, what you doing here? And she's like, I'm staying. And he's all like, okay. And it's like, okay. But then we get to the Ferris wheel, and that scene is just awesome. I really like the Ferris wheel scene. So, it was very nice and very cute. And we understand that forest fear is height, and it's very cute. And, yeah. And then they played the little game, and capture the flag, and that was very nice. And I liked that little fight scene with Molly, and I was like, ha! In your face! Revenge! Mwahahaha. And that was nice. The zipline scene. I think this is my favorite scene in the entire movie. It probably was, yeah. The zipline scene. It was so beautiful, and I was just like holding my breath the entire way down the zipline. It was so amazing and so cool, and I freaked out every little time she almost ran into something. I just loved that scene. It was so beautiful, and right at the end, she's like trying to pull it, and they're like, pull it, Triss! And it's like, and then she gets it, and she lands right in front of the wall, and it's like, yes! This scene was awesome! It was so beautiful. And then I wanted to cry because I kept thinking of the last book, and at the very end of the last book, and then I just like wanted to start crying. But I didn't. But if you've read Allegiant, you know. So then Peter and Al, and along with this other dude, attack her, and that scene was pretty intense. I was just very angry at Al at this point. I was just like, Al, why are you so stupid? I don't understand. And then 4 comes in and beats him up, and that was pretty awesome. And then I just seriously almost started crying. It was so sad when Al comes up to her, Triss, and he's asking for forgiveness, and she's like, I can never forgive you. And you just see the tears in her eye. And I just was like, oh my God, this is so sad. And I know what's coming next, and it's just so sad. And he jumps off of the chasm and dies, and yeah, that was really sad. And they pull him up, and it's just so depressing. I was just so sad. Anyways, let's talk about the fear landscapes. They were awesome, let me tell you. I love that scene where in the book, it never really tells her how she, like, passes. Like, in the book, it's very different, and I kind of like how they did it in the movie better. How 4 tells her to be dauntless, like how a dauntless would act and not how a Divergent would act. Like, Divergent just, like, completely, like, just, I'm going to, you know, just, this isn't real, and break through and finish it. But before tells her she has to act dauntless and has to use something to be dauntless. Like, you have to use this to stop this and face your fears. And I just really like that. And then we get to go to 4's fear landscape, and that was just, it was beautiful. His landscape was awesome. I just wanted to hug him. And it was just a great fear landscape, and just, it was so cool. And I like that scene where, you know, Marcus is coming in, and then we all like, and then he like totally just like punches them, and they all fall down, and that was just awesome. And then the kiss scene was really cute, and it was perfect, and we see 4's tattoos, and that was just great, and it was awesome. So, yeah. Then we get to the final test, the final landscape fear test, and it was great. Yeah, I only counted 5 fears though, and she's supposed to have, I think, like 6, because 4 and 6, you know, but she only had 5, and I was kind of disappointed, but whatever, we'll roll with it. And then we get to, afterwards, they get the serum, the ceremony serum, and they, you know, they all turn into robots. Not really, but zombies-ish. Walking zombies with guns. Yeah. And that was pretty intense and crazy. The end was awesome. It was beautiful. And her parents, I cried when her mom died. That was so upsetting. I cried. It was upsetting, and I cried. And then with her father dying, that was also very sad. Because her father's just laying there, and Caleb's like holding him, and it's just like, I can't handle this. It was very upsetting. Yeah, but then when she killed Will, that was really sad. Like, she's calling to Will, like, Will, please! Like, she's, like, kind of begging him, like, don't make me shoot you. But she does, and that was just really upsetting. And it was so sad. And then the hand stab. When she is fighting, like, at the very end where she throws that knife right into Janine's hand. Holy crap, that was awesome. And I forgot to talk about the one scene where 4 is throwing knives at her. That scene was awesome. I forgot to tell you, but I loved that scene. It was so cool. I love that scene in the book. I also read that scene from 4's perspective. Also great. Both were beautiful. It was just beautiful. We just see how brave she is. And I seriously would have flinched every time he threw that. I would not be dauntless, let me tell you. And, yeah, just the whole fight scene at the end with 4 and her and 4 fighting, and that's just awesome. Like, I was like, yeah, my goodness, yes! I was seriously so happy at that. I don't know, I just love the fight scene between her and 4. And, you know, then she stabs the serum into Janine, and she makes everything better, and then she drops everything, everyone goes back to normal, and it's like, dang, this was intense. All go on the train together, and they're going to Amity, and it's like, yeah! And then she gives that little monologue at the end, and I was kind of upset that he never said that they loved each other at the end, but, like they did in the book, but that's okay. Still love the movie. So sorry this is very long. We had lots to talk about. I literally wrote down a list so I could get through everything. But yeah, this movie was amazing. I give it a 5 out of 5. It was beautiful, great movie to book to movie adaptation. Beautiful. Great job. The casting was awesome. The script was amazing. Great job. Great job. So I'd highly recommend picking up this book, watching the movie. It's so good. You won't regret it, I promise. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!